This video is brought to you by Skillshare.
Imprecise words.
Earl Sweatshirt is just 24 years old, but it feels like he's been around forever, and relative to the current hip-hop scene, he kind of has been. He put out his first mixtape when he was 16, but unlike similarly young rappers such as Lil Pump and Tay-K, who seem to be nothing more than the subject of repeated in-jokes, Earl was immediately recognized as a promising talent, and he's only improved since then. 8 years and 4 albums later, Earl Sweatshirt is considered a legendary figure in rap, revered for his excellent songwriting and innovative musical style. In this video, I'm going to discuss Earl's influences, his music, and his surprisingly impactful presence in hip-hop. Let's get into it. Earl Sweatshirt comes from a family of influential thinkers. His mother is a professor of law at UCLA, one of the top universities in the world. His father was a South African poet and political activist known throughout the world for his influential work in bridging the gap between African poetry and black poetry in the United States. Earl's parents separated when he was 8 years old, something that would strongly influence the tone of his music to come. Earl started rapping when he was in middle school under the name Sly Tendencies. He released the first and only Sly Tendencies mixtape, Kitchen Cutlery, in 2009. Shortly after dropping this Kitchen Cutlery mixtape, Earl reached out to Tyler the Creator to express interest in Tyler's rapidly growing hip-hop collective, Odd Future. Tyler was impressed by Earl's music on MySpace, and he invited him to join Odd Future. The first Earl Sweatshirt mixtape came out around 6 months after Earl linked up with Odd Future. It was mostly produced by Tyler and received widespread critical acclaim. The Earl mixtape is a defining work in the classic Odd Future sound. The lyrics are edgy, the instrumentals are well refined, and they combine to carry the spirit of confused adolescence that Odd Future was well known for. Earl developed a cult following because his listeners liked that he was willing to talk about things that many people felt, but few vocalized. While the mixtape was ranked as one of the best albums of 2010 by Complex, Earl later called it unfocused, saying that he was unable to make focused music when he was a kid. Just 3 months after he released the mixtape, Earl's mother sent him to a boarding school in the Polynesian country of Samoa. She did this because she thought Earl was going through a rough patch in his life, and he needed to disconnect from the problems he was facing. Specific incidents leading up to this included cheating in school, increasing reliance on weed, and disrespectful behavior. While Earl was stuck in Samoa, he went through a sophisticated rehabilitation program aimed at otherwise capable young men experiencing emotional problems. By that time he came back home, Odd Future's popularity had exploded, largely due to the popularity of his mixtape. They were suddenly playing sold-out shows across the country. It wasn't what he had expected. Despite his inability to make music while he was there, Earl speaks fondly of his time in Samoa. He even talked to GQ about how his experiences there helped him grow away from the lyrical subject matter he was previously interested in. Earl's first big release after his return to the US was his debut studio album, Doris, released in August of 2013. It debuted at number 5 on the Billboard Top 200 and was praised for excellent lyricism, gritty production, and great rapping. Features on Doris include lines from Tyler the Creator, Mac Miller, Vince Staples, Frank Ocean, and RZA. Production was a collaborative effort as well. Doris is dark, brooding, and moody, but it doesn't feel like too much. It's not one of those albums that's going to ruin your mood if you turn it on, because above his ability to make a depressing song, Earl's music is trim. Unlike much of modern rap, it's not bloated. In the years following Doris, Earl became an underground rapper with mainstream popularity, his music being strongly influenced by underground legends like MF Doom and Cameron. He was able to take their relatively niche styles and turn them into something more widely appealing. Earl's second record dropped in the spring of 2015 after almost 2 years of relative silence. It was at first planned to be called Nosos, after a character from the novel Been Down So Long It Looks Like Up to Me, a classic from the 1960s counterculture movement. Earl ultimately decided to go in a different direction with the title, I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. I Don't Like Shit is stripped back, even compared to the lo-fi sound of Doris. The album is shorter, the lyrics are more bleak, the production is crushingly dark and minimalistic. I Don't Like Shit was no sophomore slump. You can tell Earl spent a lot of time refining his production and songwriting, with the album being entirely self-produced and somewhat lacking in features compared to Doris. Overall, it was a successful album that solidified Earl's place as one of the most interesting rappers around. Lyrical subject matter examined Earl's mental health, personal relationships, and inner struggles. Just a few months after the release of Earl's second album, Odd Future ended pretty much for good. As the individual members' solo careers had been taking off for a while preceding the official announcement, it didn't exactly come as a surprise. While many speculated that there was bad blood between Tyler and Earl because of this turned out not to be the case. Earl has been fairly quiet since 2015. He dropped a few singles on SoundCloud in 2016, he played a few festivals per year, but outside of that, no one was really sure if he was going to make more music. In June of 2018, Earl canceled a European tour due to depression and the shock of his father's death a few months earlier. Earl also appeared on the Mac Miller Celebration of Life concert in late October 2018. Earl's third album, Some Rap Songs, dropped just a few weeks after Earl announced it. It's his shortest record yet at just 24 minutes long. Some Rap Songs is wildly more experimental than Earl's previous work when it comes to production. Here he incorporates elements of avant-garde jazz, trip-hop, and more. His flow and lyricism remain top tier as always. The album deals with the death of Earl's father, politics, family, and mental health. Despite its brevity, Some Rap Songs has been praised as one of Earl's best releases yet. Earl Sweatshirt draws from his family's artistic background and a rich variety of musical influences to create something pretty unique in the current musical landscape. Not only is his music solid, but Earl has displayed a great strength of character, being thrown into fame at the age of 16 and staying grounded through the whole ordeal. Earl's music is refined, deeply personal, and never longer than it needs to be. In a world of bloated rap albums and ridiculous personas, Earl Sweatshirt might be exactly the quiet, relatable musician we need.
Special thanks to Anthony for appearing in this video. And while we wait for Earl's next album, I recommend that you pick up a few new skills on Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with over 20,000 classes in graphic design, music production, songwriting, and more. Skillshare's premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes on useful and engaging topics. It's honestly a great way to improve your skills and unlock new opportunities. I personally recommend Martin Svensson's class on music production in FL Studio. It's the perfect class to get started learning how to make music of your own. So join the millions of students already learning on Skillshare today with a special offer that's just for my viewers. You can get 2 months of Skillshare for free. To sign up, visit the link in the description and get 2 months of unlimited access to over 20,000 classes for free. Act now on this special offer and start learning today.